Welcome everyone to another video. My name is Hago, aka Hags, and today you join me at my property development. Today I thought let's switch it up, let's not stay in the office, let's do it at the development because today we do have some updates in the property. We've done the first fix of the electrics, but that's besides the point. Just keep up with the series and you won't miss out. But in today's video, I'll be discussing how you should buy a property in 2023. The full steps from finding a property to the final completion date of the property. So let's get straight into it. Step number one, and you probably could have guessed it, the finances. One of the most important things you need to know. And starting off with finances, you need to make sure you have your finances ready. And what I mean by that is if you're getting a mortgage, then how much are you willing to put down for this property? If you're purchasing in cash, make sure you have that lump sum ready, knowing exactly how much you want to put down for the property. Once you've managed to figure that out and find out exactly how much you're willing to put down to purchase a property, you need to know whether you're purchasing it as a residential or a buy-to-let investment. And if you're purchasing it as a residential, you need to put down 5% or above. That's how much you need to have in your pocket to purchase that property. When it comes to buy-to-let, you need a minimum of 25%. Of course, more the better, just so that mortgage comes down as quick as possible. And now once you've figured those two out, you need to go and speak to a mortgage broker, or you go to your bank. Reason why I'm saying one of the two is because a mortgage broker will break down as many deals as possible. They'll go through your credit check and they'll give you the best rates possible. And as doing this, they'll be able to guide you on how much you need for this sort of house, how much we can lend you, how much you can borrow, and of course that would depend on if it's residential or buy-to-let. Of course you will let them know, and how much you will have to put down with that. This of course isn't concrete information. You're not going to have this money ready for when you purchase a property. It's more of a subject to principle, if you want to call it that. Just there, ready for when you do purchase a property. You can go to the mortgage broker or the bank and give them a ring and say, I'm ready to purchase this property. So now step number two. You want to call a solicitor. Whether you know them or not, get in contact with one or two or even three. See how they act, what type of way do they present themselves to you to the point where you are comfortable to use them when you do purchase a property. I know you don't need this now. You're not even going to put down a penny yet for any of this. But you need that ready just for when you do get to the next stages, which we'll talk about in a second. So once you have called a solicitor, you're pretty much happy with them, get them to send you over a price list, just so you have that in mind for how much you'll be charged when purchasing the property. So once you've gathered all that information, you're pretty much set to now go look for that dream property of yours, whether it's investment or a home purchase to live in. So there's plenty of ways of doing this. You can use the property portals, Rightmove, Zoopla. I have done a video actually on how to find deals on these platforms and even more, so go check that one out as well. But you can set the budget, you can set the location, you can basically narrow it down as if you're purchasing an item of clothing, shoes, the size, etc. You can just narrow everything down and make life easier. And you want to go now, call the agent and ask them, I want to book a viewing for this property. Not only that, you want to ask them, how much interest have you had in this property? This will help you down the line with negotiation. I'll let you know in a minute. And that will give you a good idea of how many people want to purchase a property, how many viewings there is there a block viewing, etc. So now you've gathered all that, you want to go view this property. You've now gone to the property, you're having a look around, I have done a video on what to look for before you purchase a property, so again, go check that one out. So you're looking around, everything seems perfectly fine to you. This is the house that you want, this is that investment that you want, numbers add up, or this is where you want to live, and again, everything adds up in terms of finances. So you now go home, you want to be quick on the ball. If this is the house that you want, put that offer down. There is an asking price, and in 2023, you can negotiate some of this stuff. Of course, again, we're not talking about last year where everyone's throwing offers left, right and centre for a property. We're not having that anymore. But again, we are getting offers for property. I'm not an agent, but I have seen it firsthand. So again, what you can do is just offer slightly below how much you are willing to pay for it. Maybe go back and forth with the agent and maybe up your price slightly and see what your competitors are offering. Of course, they're not going to tell you that, but it's the best you can do. And that is where you get usually the best deal possible. You get your offer accepted. Congratulations, this house is not yours yet, but technically is yours. This is where you get something called a sales memorandum with the offer accepted, the figure that has been accepted, your name, the seller's name and solicitor's name. Now you go to that solicitor and you say, I am ready to purchase this property, this address, and a sales memorandum will come to you soon. And this is where you're just planning to make sure that everyone is in line, understands what's going on, you're now purchasing that property. You need to go to that mortgage broker or bank and tell them, I'm now ready to purchase this property, this price, etc. And that is when you sit down with them, make sure everything's right, you now know the price of the property, how much you're going to put down, and there you have it. You've now got 3 people, you've got the agent, you've got the solicitor and the mortgage broker all working together now to get this deal done. At this point now, the solicitor would have got searches done on the property, they would have done the paperwork back and forth. If you don't know what searches are, it's basically drainage, it's who owns the property, little things like that. It will just be in one big pack, you can go through it. It's slightly long, but you want to make sure you go through every single bit of this. At the same time, you want to go back and forth with your mortgage broker, just making sure where you're at with things, how close are we to completing with the finances, etc. Just to keep in tabs. And at this point, you can ask if you want a home buyer survey or structural survey if you'd like. But most of the time, I know what a property looks like, I know what to look for, so for me, it's not so important. But for someone else, like yourselves, there's no reason why you don't need to get a home buyer survey or structural survey. You don't lose anything. I mean, you lose about £500 or so, but at the same time, you do get that comfort of making sure that property is intact, there's nothing structurally problem with it or anything. And coming up to the final steps now. This is where everyone has joined together, the funds are ready, you've signed all the documents, TR1 to be exact. This is the final document you sign. It's basically the final completion that you both sign, so you will sign and the seller will sign to pretty much finalize the deal. And once they've both been signed, have the funds sent over to the solicitor. And at this point, you've practically now completed on the sale. The solicitor will send you an email saying, congratulations, this house is now officially yours. You can go collect the keys, do whatever you need to do with the property. I know these steps are fairly long, but once you've done it once, you sort of understand how everything is. And to be honest, if you just chase up the agent, if you chase up the solicitor, if you chase up the mortgage broker, you're pretty much set. There isn't anything to worry about. And honestly, it does sound like a lot to take in, but it is a lot easier than you think. So go look for that dream home. Go look for that investment property that you want. If you have any questions, let me know down below with purchasing a property. I'll answer them the best of my ability. But I've been Haggot, aka Hags. Don't forget the name. And I'll catch you in the next video.